And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Every day we want to help you sort through a lot of the nonsense out there and help you win in any marketplace. What do we mean by that? We mean by all of our expert contributors bringing on great knowledge and contributing to that mindset in terms of winning in marketplaces. And Michael Johnson's going to help us win in the boating and yachting world. He's in studio with us, J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors. We're going to talk about the economic impact of boating in Tampa Bay, also financing options and private water access, when you have real estate properties, how that affects it as well. We have Brian Frias as well in studio with us. We're going to be talking about ShivWorks, Concept Jui-jitsu, self-defense, some really cool stuff there for these different situations that come around. Cory Van Valin as well, our magician expert contributor on the show. He comes to a lot of our parties, and he does a great job entertaining the crowd. Speaking of parties, we got one coming up, Dave.
Yes, we do. This is going to be over at the beautiful Tarpon Turtle, March 20th at 6 p.m. Actually, a couple Thursdays from now. It's always our third Thursday time for do the networking for the business social. It's going to be at 1513 Lake Tarpon Avenue in Tarpon Springs. Of course, the fantastic appetizers are covered by the Platinum MVP team, and you need to come on down. It's a great time to actually talk with all the actual show supporters, sponsors, actually get one-on-one time with them, and get to talk about a whole lot of different things and increase your network.
Yeah, grow your network, grow your knowledge base, and bring any scenarios as well. So happy hour Thursday, March 20th, 6 o'clock, over at the beautiful Tarpon Springs, Tarpon Turtle, right there on the waterfront. Waterfront dining, excellent ambiance, and a very friendly waitstaff. Appetizers provided by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Also going to have a boat there as well. We're going to have a pontoon boat, so we might take a cruise there in the evening, maybe a little booze cruise. We'll talk about that. And come on out and join us on the 20th. We hope to see you there. And we always have a great time. All right, a couple of hot listings here. We'd like to feature our real estate listings live on air. It's part of our strategy that helps our sellers sell faster, maximizing the profit, and minimizing that days on market as well. All right, 221 Howard Drive, beautiful listing right here in Tampa Bay. This one's on Bel Air Beach. We have a multi-million-dollar listing. Talk about a waterfront property, Michael. Here's a great one. Look at this: 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot, single-family home. 221 Bel Air Howard Drive. That is on Bel Air Beach. Gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 feet of water frontage on deep water access. Historic Howard Drive boasts one of the highest land elevations in the area, and you're one block to the beach. So bring your boats, bring your jet skis, and if you don't have any boats or any jet skis, we can have you get in touch with Michael Johnson. He can certainly help you there. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach. Beautiful listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. All right, 8107 Sierra Manor Lane, another gorgeous listing. This one's waterfront as well. We have a beautiful waterfront home, Sierra Manor Lane, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage, over an acre of land. This one's 3,600 plus square feet, over an acre of land, 2-story single-family home, private pool, beautiful pool, spa, private dock, boat dock with a lift. You have a metal roof with a 65-year transferable warranty, 130 feet of private water frontage, 6,000-pound boat lift, and no backyard neighbor. You got a conservation view. Only 3 homes in the entire community. $1 million listing from the Platinum MVP team. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane in Tampa, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Yeah, I'm racing my class to those saving our ass overseas.
That's right. Shout out to all of our veterans out there. We greatly appreciate you for doing what you do. And also, some news about this ongoing struggle between homeowners and the government, local governments, relating to these short-term rentals. I'm going to touch on that when you think about the Airbnbs, VRBO, short-term rentals. We're going to hit that here as well. All right, without further ado, Michael Johnson, welcome back in. J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors.
Always good to be in-house.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I love coming out to see you guys. That's for sure.
Great seeing you at the gala.
Oh, yeah. Gala was good. Gala
really cool.
Was wonderful. There was a lot of that was I don't know if you did you walk through all the private planes?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the car. It was good between the cars and all that. I wish we could roll yacht into that place, but we couldn't do that.
That would be cool. Yeah, put a big one up in there.
Oh yeah, we couldn't do that. But everything else was, it was a great event.
Yeah,
the great people had a great showing. I think they raised a lot of money for charity with the hurricane relief. I think that was. It was good. It was actually a really good. It was a great night. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, I was talking to Will this morning. He said he raised just shy of $50,000. So
yeah, it's outstanding.
Nice,
for his first one, it was their first gala too.
Yeah,
I have to say they did. They put together a great event for their first time running.
Yeah, shout out to Will Smith, Erica Smith, and Chandler Parker. Great job organizing it, put it together.
Yeah, they did a great job. Yeah, they had great speakers. I mean, the whole night was just outstanding.
Yeah, Brian's going to be on the show this week. He's coming in on Thursday. Brian Stern from Grable.
Oh yeah. He's interesting. His stories are. I mean, I couldn't believe how many missions they put together.
Yeah.
And assisting the communities, and that's a great story. If you're going to tune in for that one, that's one. Definitely don't miss that one.
Yeah, definitely.
His stories are great.
So let's talk about the economic impact boating in Tampa Bay. I think that's such a fascinating topic because a lot of people move to Florida specifically for the outdoors and then take that to the next level. Yeah, let's get on the water.
Yeah, and it's Tampa has been growing, exponentially over the last 4 or 5 years, really since 2020, right? So the amount of money that's coming into the area is also transferring into what type of yachting we see here too. And what's interesting is that Tampa's hit about a $23 billion. The Tampa Bay area, let's put Tampa Bay area, Sarasota, those areas. We've hit about $23 billion just in the marine industry alone, and what it drives into the economy. It's a massive market over here. It is one of the bigger boating segments in the United States, which is interesting because you got Fort Lauderdale. You got Miami. Fort Lauderdale's always seemed and Miami is seemed as like the boating capital of the world. It's got some of the big shows we talk about, right? So the big boat shows. Up north, you got Detroit. Actually, you think Chicago's big? Detroit's like the hub.
Yeah.
But
Lake St. Clair.
Yeah, there's so much going on up there too. But I think within Florida, you don't really realize the impact that the boating community does have here in Tampa Bay. And it is really amazing when you kind of look into it. In a $23 billion industry, you've got about 200,000 jobs that are in the industry here on the west coast of Florida. And it's growing every day, and that demand is still there. And they need people. We need people. There's demands for cleaning boats, to servicing boats, and then us, like we're right now, looking for anybody that can sell boats. It's the demand is there, and it's really great to see that in Tampa. That's for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, last Friday I took a day off, took the boat out. What an amazing day! I mean, just to be out and enjoying this beautiful weather. I mean, it feels like the AC's on outside. You got a nice, perfect little 70, 75 degree temperature this time of year. You're out there. I caught a little shark, what do you call it? Shark with the weird nose. I forgot the name of it now.
Do they like hammerheads?
Yeah, hammerhead. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple of those out there.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. But to get out and enjoy that lifestyle, man, that's what it's all about. When we put these $1 million listings up on the screen here, it's not necessarily the bricks and the mortar. It's a lot about the lifestyle and the culture and the family feel in a lot of cases.
It is, and that's what's exciting about Tampa. There's so many different ways to use a boat over here. There's different types of experiences you get out of yachting. You just do. Some love the fishing. Some love the large sport fish, and to really take it all the way out and do some deep sea. Local fishing obviously is a huge economy here. And then you have the other day boaters, weekend getaways. There's so many ways to use the boats over here in Tampa. And that's what we look at. We kind of, every time we talk to a client that comes in, we work with a lot of buyers. And buyers, we really kind of sit down and listen. What are you doing with the boat? And then how can we get the best use out of that boat for the Tampa Bay area? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yes.
And you can do a lot. There are more than you think that, now we're seeing a big push in 40, 50, 60 footers here. You're starting to see some real big ones, too. You're getting super yachts that are coming in. The St. Pete marinas, all the developments going over there, we're getting ready to bring in some larger yacht accommodations. You're getting 30 meter, the Ocean Alexander. It's in front of American Social. Yeah, in front of Jackson's American Social. That one's been there. That you could start to see those yachts are starting to go bigger. It's just starting to accommodate a little bit more of that. But the segment for over here, no matter what, is 40 to 60 feet. That's the sweet spot that we see. 50-footers are all over the place. You're starting to see more and more of them because you can do a lot over here. Between going from Tampa to Sarasota, Marco Island, and all the way down to the Keys, it's a weekend getaway, and that is a really, it's an attractive thing for boaters. And it's driving
sitting in traffic. Think about that. That's one of the biggest things people look for, hey, look, if I want to go on a vacation, I don't want to be sitting in traffic somewhere driving through Miami, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they jump on their boats, and some of your clientele, that's what they'll do. They'll head down to Siesta Key and kind of hit the islands on the way down.
Yeah, they'll start, and then they'll shoot all the way down to Key West, and they absolutely love it. Yeah, you're right. By the time you zigzag and take 8 hours, they're doing it quicker in a boat sometimes. And now with traffic on 75, you got to love it. So I'd rather be on a boat. So
it's a lifestyle, man.
It is, and the experiences are what you get out of it. You don't see that coastal line. Not everybody gets to see it, and to experience that and get into boating. Some are just die hard for it, and that's what's the big part. So the economy is a big driver to this, and then it's just amazing to watch to see what's happening over here. And there's a huge demand for it, which then leads into what you're just talking about, all the real estate sales you're doing is the waterfront properties. There's just a big demand for it, and real estate, waterfront, seaside access, private marine access that you're seeing. We're seeing there's about a 20% increase in both demand and even prices continue to go up in that segment, and you're just seeing it because everybody wants to have access to the water. They want everything. I want to experience everything in the town. Sarasota's like that, right? Or even anywhere in St. Pete to Madera Beach. I want the experience of the local community, but now I got this dock out back. What can I put on it? Where can I go with it? And how much more can I explore?
Sure. Yeah, we're talking with Michael Johnson here, J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors. And Michael, when you think about when you are bringing in those buyers and you do your initial assessment, it's similar to what we do on the real estate side. My wife works with our buyer agents on the team, and it's a needs and wants analysis. You absolutely need this. It'd be nice if we have that. And I'm sure it kind of relates in your industry, right?
It does. And there's a big saying in the industry, which is, no, not by us, but buyers say it to each other. The best day my best day of boating is when I bought it and I sold it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't really believe in that because I believe they just bought the wrong boat.
Yeah.
So it's just the guidance of what you're doing with it and making sure that everybody's going to be happy. Because we get a lot of guys who come in and they're like, hey, I want one of those boats that do like 100 miles an hour. And you look at them, you're like, do you know what it's like doing 100 miles an hour on the water?
How many times have you done that? Yes.
Are you prepared for this? I mean, because some guys are like, oh, yeah, I want that. I'm like, well, who are you bringing on a boat? Well, I got the dog. I got the wife. I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to like doing 100 miles an hour in the water. And it just, again, it's sitting down and coming up with a way to really look at what are you doing with it? And you said needs and wants.
Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish? Because I want you to get into a boat that you're going to absolutely love. You're going to enjoy it every time you go out, and you're going to keep it for quite some time. Because that's the idea. I fulfilled my needs of what I need in this boat. Now I can go explore.
Yeah.
Until you get to what we call 10-foot-itis. I think we talked about this before. You got like a 40-footer and you're standing on a dock and you're like, everybody's got a 50. Maybe I should get the 50 down.
Yeah.
It's only been like 2 months in.
Oh, boy.
So anyways, so there are those, the same thing. We want to, what are you doing? How are you using it? And how can we, match that need?
Sure.
So,
yeah, it's interesting, and you think about the Florida lifestyle you mentioned. I mean, gosh, there's great fishing here, onshore, offshore. You've got scallop season. You've got diving. I'm getting more and more into diving. I was talking to Dave Doble about it, the TBBC, and we were talking at Will Smith Aviation the other day about it, and because he does a lot of that, and I just love going diving down there and shooting some of the fish. Now that was really cool. I was down in the Keys and I had my slingshot. I had one of those slingshots, and I guess I needed to have more power on it, but I had this beautiful grouper just looking there wanting to be on my plate that night, and I just couldn't get him in the boat, man. I just could not. I was hitting them kept hitting them with the sling, and I need to get a better, one of the underwater guns, spear guns. But that's what we have here in Florida, man. It's we could do it almost every day, within season, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting with Dave with the TBBC. He's got that thing wrapped with reef donkey on it.
Yeah, that boat is awesome.
You see him go by, and he knows. But he's doing all the spear fishing. He does that quite a bit. So
a lot of the tournaments, yep.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see what everybody does, how they use the boats and where they're going and what their passions are. Yeah. That's the best part of the whole thing. Yeah, it's so different between everybody.
And then coming out of Tarpon Springs here, sometimes I'll go out of there, and then you have people going to the different honeymoon islands or the different islands there and just kind of camping out for the day. They'll have the little floats and the little, the boats have so many additions now the functionality.
Yeah.
Have like umbrellas, and they got the bean chairs. I mean, it's much more comfortable than we were kids.
Oh, yeah, it's not
You're
the
a kid,
same.
You're bouncing around. You're like, man, I don't know. It's a little bit hardcore on the water out here sometimes.
Yeah, and they're designing these things more and more for day use and excursion of entertainment. They really know people want to do more on them and spend more time on them. So that's why you're starting to see the bigger grills off the back and bigger coolers, and you can hold more drinks and all these things are kind of going how we can pack all this in a 40-footer. And the design on these things are getting more creative. They're figuring out ways to do it, and it's still, when you walk on them, you still feel like it's open. I got a lot of room. I could put a lot of people on it, but holy cow, it's got all these amenities, and it's crazy how boating's changed. Even when when I was a kid and do some boating, and it's amazing where it's gone to now. And we deal with some of the older vessels still, so it is great because people love them. Like the aft cabins, they're like floating RVs. These things are but they're cool. They don't look the best from the exterior, but they are really they cover a lot of ground on sitting on a dock and enjoying the sunsets, going on down to the Keys and doing it overnight, having a lot of people aboard and really enjoying a day, or even going out to the sand dunes. It's just there's a lot you could do. It's kind of cool.
Very functional. Those seem very functional.
We've
got to take a quick break there. More with Michael Johnson coming up. J.Brothers Yacht Luxury Yacht Advisors. J.Brothers Yacht Sales.com, J.Brothers Yacht Sales.com. More with Michael coming up. Also, talk about financing options, how are people buying these things, and more as well. We got Brian Frias joining us as well. We're going to talk about self-defense, ShivWorks, Concept Jui-jitsu, and Cory Van Valin rounding out the show today. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon BRimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon BRimes, 813-917-1894, ConsumerQB.com. Brandon BRimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at KW.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon BRimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, back here in the studio, we're going to talk Michael Johnson, J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors, coming up. More with him here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings here. 5444 90th Avenue Circle East. This one's a motivated seller down in Parrish, Florida. This is Ancient Oaks, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage, almost 2,600 square foot of living space there. Single family home. You have a 0.36 acre lot. Living room boasts a tray ceiling, built-in shelves, fireplace. Got a beautiful pool here, screened-in lanai. No backyard neighbor, conservation, and a water view as well. 5444 90th Avenue Circle East in Parrish, Florida. Another one of our beautiful real estate listings. 455 Alt 19, US Highway 19, alternate number 151 in Palm Harbor. This one is in Harbor Club. You've got 2 pools there. One's heated with a spa. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, ground floor, 898 square foot condo nestled in the heart beautiful Palm Harbor, one of the most sought after destinations in all of Tampa Bay. Palm Harbor is a great small town. Well-equipped kitchen, kitchen with a chef's dream and a mosaic backsplash. Check out 455 US Alt 19, number 151, Palm Harbor, Florida. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, quick shout out to our friend Lee's at leesroyalservices.com. Lee over at leesroyalservices.com. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties, residential, commercial properties, home and office cleaning. leesroyalservices.com on the interior of the property. On the exterior, talk to our friend Ramin over at Heights Soft Wash, pressure washing company right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. HeightsSoftWash.com. HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, I was going to give you a quick update, too. Pinellas County Commissioners had a meeting, and they changed some of the ordinances for short-term rentals. You know, a huge topic in real estate space today. Basically, what they're doing, they're changing the occupancy cap to 10 people. They want to have a clear definition of a bedroom from Florida statutes, allowing 2 people per bedroom and 2 common areas. You have quiet set hours from 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. aligned with noise ordinances, and they have a 24/7 hotline now. You know, a lot of people are buying these things and going in there and throwing these wild parties and bachelor parties and all kinds of, shenanigans going on. But yeah, they have fines with $1,000 for violations, every possible revocation of certificate of use. So that's a big deal. Pinellas County Commissioners had a meeting. Aaron Foley on our team sent that to me. So I thought we'd get that news out there. Let's go back to Michael Johnson here, J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors. And Michael, when people are buying these, I imagine there's a fair amount of cash floating around out there, but are there financing options if people wanted to leverage a little bit?
Yeah, you could do financing too. Yeah, we see quite a bit. It runs, interestingly enough, it's kind of like real estate. They have amortizations up to 20 years.
Wow.
For boats. So it's not, the 3.2, 3.5 that you get for a car. We run more and more. We are very similar to the industry of real estate. So you could do up to 20 years. They're doing about 6 to 6.5% right now, which is actually really good. Mm-hmm. And they'll even give you discounts on boats for financing. So that's across the board. Sometimes you'll see that typically for new boats and sometimes used, you'll get some discounts more applied to do some financing. Yeah. So everybody's different, but it is a big cash segment. But we do see quite a bit of financing too. So, yeah, a little bit of both. Yeah, that's
awesome. Especially if you're getting up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, you're selling all types of big boats out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, everything. In Tampa sees we have a 40-foot average and around a half a million to 600,000 on the average over 2024 that we saw across all boat sales. That was our averages here at J.Brothers. So it is a great segment, and it's you don't see a lot of the $2-3 million purchases that are happening. But the segment here is really, really, there is a conservative segment here. They're very modest in what they purchase. They purchase it for the right reasons. People are very smart.
Yep.
A lot of individuals doing boating. They have businesses. They own businesses. There are a certain type of individuals, especially in boating, that are very particular about how they're going to use it, what they're going to spend. When they get into it, they know exactly what it's going to cost them in operations, because there's a lot to it. It's not just the cost of the boat. Sometimes the operations per year can double or triple the value of the boat. So it just depends on what the individuals are getting involved with it.
Yeah, and some people are buying them also, the bigger ones, and utilizing them as a kind of a rental platform, a share platform. Is there some type of a VRBO out there for boats?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It depends on the marina. The marinas are pretty strict sometimes, depending on the cities allowing Airbnb to happen. Because you do see that once in a while here and there. In the Keys, you see it quite a bit. Up here, it's been kind of controlled a little bit. They don't want people coming out on the docks, and because you have other boats there, they don't want any disruptions and things like that. But it is out there. It's a possibility, but more for chartering.
Yeah.
So you see a lot more chartering, and then they receive a tax credit for it. And it just depends on how they're going to charter it out and how much they want to charter it out. You're still using your boat. Somebody else is still using your boat. So it depends on how protective you are for your personal space.
Right.
Somebody else is going to be using it, but it does bring a very good tax incentive along with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if you got people going out and hey, here's some revenue, and I know in the past we spoke to, hey, it's a revenue decision too. I got this much payment.
Yeah.
Get some revenue flowing. Reach out to Michael Johnson, J.Brothers Luxury Yacht Advisors, JBrothersYachtSales.com, JBrothersYachtSales.com, and any other coordinates?
No, that's it. If you're looking at selling, you want to look at selling yachts or selling real estate, we are looking for people. Come on out, call us. We'd love to see if we can work with you and see if we can make it happen.
I love it. Yeah, reach out to the show. We'll put you in touch with Michael Johnson, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, coming up, we got Brian Frias coming up. We're going to talk about self-defense and all the cool stuff he's doing over at Concept Jui-jitsu and ShivWorks. We'll be right back.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio. We're going to talk self-defense here in just a moment. ShivWorks and Concept Jui-jitsu with Brian in studio with us. And also Cory Van Valin coming up as well, magician and just overall awesome entertainer. He's here with us as well in studio. Before we do, a couple of hot listings. We'd like to feature our real estate properties on air. We help our sellers sell faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of their real estate properties. 1700 Highland Club Court. We got a great listing here. This was a single-family home, affordable, kind of an entry-level home here at 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,280 square foot villa right here in Palm Harbor, Florida, 1700 Highland Club Court. You have lighter color kitchen. You have community pool there. Spacious bedrooms, exclusive access to a private golf club as well, and an executive golf course, clubhouse, pools, hot tubs, and many, many more extras there. 1700 Highland Club Court, Palm Harbor, Florida. Another one of our awesome listings. 1905 Masters Way. This one's out in Plant City, East Hillsborough County. Great opportunity here. You have a beautiful split floor plan, oversized great room, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage, 29 square foot single family home. 0.38 acre lot with no backyard neighbors. Beautiful split floor plan. You have walking trail in the community, dog park, playground, sports complex, and access to the lake for non-motorized vessels in Walden Lake. The amenities are awesome. 1905 Masters Way. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Brian Frias, welcome back in, sir.
Hey, how are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored, brother. Yeah, appreciate you coming in. And, yeah, I love rolling over there with you guys when I can get in there. I need to get a little bit more consistent. But, man, it's always great activity. And, to stay active and to keep the mind working a lot. A lot of it's about the mind matching the body, right?
Yeah, it's really like human chess. Sometimes you have to give a little to get something.
Right.
It's not so much of a physical exertion as people think it is. It is when you don't do it very often, but it doesn't have to be. It's more about trying to figure out the correct solution to a puzzle.
Yeah, it really is. And talking about the jiu-jitsu, when you have these different holds and poses and moves and techniques and so you have. Let's go a little bit into your background. But with your background in law enforcement, I mean, this is, some people do it for fun and for self-defense, and it's like, hey, I might be in this position at some point in my life. You were in that position many, many times in your career, and let's go a little bit into the background.
Yeah, so I was a Marine on active duty for 6 years. I got stationed in North Carolina. I was open contract and got sent to drones, not knowing what a drone was. Started doing the Marine Corps Martial Arts program, got really into fighting, left active duty, moved to San Diego because that's the mecca for all MMA and jiu-jitsu. Started training heavily in jiu-jitsu. I got hooked up with Atos HQ, the most successful jiu-jitsu team out there in the world. I was there for 3 years, did that full-time, nothing but jiu-jitsu. I stayed in the reserve for another 8 years, joined San Diego Police. I was a cop there for 8 years and spent the majority of those 8 years on a proactive team or with SWAT. So I got into a lot of fights with guys who were trying to take my gun, present a gun against me, had a knife in their hand, were trying to pull a knife out of their pocket or something, some combination of that. And more or less, because I had been training for many years before I started even getting into law enforcement, I kind of had the answers to those problems, which spared me from a lot of lingering headaches had I been required to use my pistol, to say it in a nice way. It spared the lives of a lot of people who I could have easily justified taking from them. And really served me well. Got out of there, stopped doing that because California sucks. Moved out here to Florida, the free nation of Florida, and opened up our small gym. And now I travel around teaching under the brand ShivWorks. That's our self-defense company, and we focus specifically on combative. So any problem involving a weapons-based environment, how you talk or interact with someone when there may be the potential of a weapon attack. And then we have Concept Jui-jitsu, and that's the sport side of it. So we're going to go upside down and get weird, and it's a lot of fun.
Get some elbow locks.
Some, a lot of fun. There is a crossover, but you know, one's for fun, one is fun, but we take what we do seriously. You know, we don't take ourselves too seriously, but definitely anyone delivering some sort of self-defense program should understand there's a responsibility when you say, I think that if you find yourself in a bad situation, you should follow this course of action, because if they do and it doesn't work out well for them, that's on you. Right. And a lot of people forget that part of it and just focus on the fun part.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you know, de-escalate, you know, if you can, try to de-escalate. And we bring on Thomas King. He's another one of our favorites around here, Florida Firearms Academy. And he was telling some stories this past week about, you know, road rage incidents and how he could, you know, trying to de-escalate. And let's face it, we're in one of the most heavily medicated societies, depressed societies. I mean, you name it. The malades are there, the you know, the sadness, depression that people have. So yeah, try to de-escalate. Try to, but when you can't, when it comes down to it, what are some of your top tips?
Well, you need to control someone's hands. That's the number one. So you see a lot of guys teaching some semblance of head control. That's not going to help you in a weapons-based environment. You must always control the hands. You always want to be in posture in a dominant position and have control of the inside, the space between elbow to elbow. If you can do that, then you can facilitate resolution. Plan A being get behind them, because if you are going to run, you don't want to run when someone's directly in front of you. That's when you get knocked out or they grab hold of you. If you can get behind them, you can launch an attack of your own, or you can get away. That's the best way to do that. If you can't get behind them, you're going to tie them up. Bundle two of their limbs together with one of yours. So if you are going to deploy a weapon or you're going to strike, they can't do anything back to you while you do so. I really like hitting people. It's just I don't want to get hit. So if I can hit you when you can't hit me, that's the best time to do so. I would ask, did he offer a definition for de-escalate? Because it is the current buzzword out in the industry. Everyone says, we got to de-escalate. We got to de-escalate. And I would say, what does that mean? And most people are going to struggle to find a specific definition for it. And I think the best way to say it is I tried to do the current politically acceptable thing so I don't get in trouble. In reality, we're trying to use the minimum amount of force to come to a appropriate conclusion for whatever that incident is. So if you came up to me and I said, listen, man, you're about to have a really fucking hard work day. Sorry if I can't swear, but you're about to have a really hard work day if this keeps moving forward. And you're like, and you walk away, is that de-escalation? If you walk up to me, I read you for someone who's about to rob me, and I point a gun at you and you walk away, is that de-escalation? If you walk up to me and say, hey, dude, I'm sorry, I got nothing. I want to help you. I do, but my old lady cleaned me out. I'm broke, bro. And you walk away. Is that de-escalation? Is all of it de-escalation? And it's none of it. If I hit you in the face preemptively, knowing you were probably about to hit me, is that? So I'm not a big fan of buzzwords. I like specificity and language, and I think that's the best way to go about it. What is it? And that's what we're going to do this women's self-defense on March 15th at our gym from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the big focus is on how do you talk, what do you do with your hands, and how do you move to keep it from getting into that rolling around, entangled, horizontal fight on the barroom floor covered in piss, blood, and broken glass. You know, so that's what we're going to focus on, the actual ways that you can de-escalate something.
Yeah, sure. So that's on March 15th. That's a Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
It's Concept Jui-jitsu. Where's that location?
It's on Frontage Road off of 19, right near Countryside Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah, and that'll be a women's only. I don't usually do those, but I have been convinced by my wife to do a women's only class. So it will be one. It's not going to be an empowerment, you're a tiger sort of thing. I'll tell them this is the reality of violence, and this is going to be the best thing you can do to get yourself out of that situation with some simple strategies that don't take a lot of talent. And I think everyone will be very happy with the outcome. You can also bring a friend. I should have said that.
Yeah,
I'll be yelled at
To
if
carry
I don't
you
remember
out.
that. Yeah, so
Bring a friend.
Yeah, they can bring a friend for free.
Saturday, March 15th, 9 a.m. You want to be at Concept Jiu-Jitsu, women's only. Brian with Concept Jui-jitsu, and because we both have almost the same month pregnancy. We both have pregnant wives. We were talking about that the other day, and interesting too. My wife went to her 20 weeks or whatever. What do they call it? Where they scan it, sonogram thing.
Yeah,
and
we just did that last week.
We thought this whole time because of the blood test that we had a daughter coming. Nope, it's another boy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we found that out today. So, but anyways, so you think about that, pregnant women out there, women in general, maybe a guy that maybe not grew up with similar backgrounds to us, working out, weightlifting out, maybe a little bit more introverted. Those are the people that you really want to think about in society, because we have to protect those people more. Yeah.
They need it. And giving them a gun is not the solution.
Right.
And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have one. I want them to have it. I want them to be insanely proficient at it. But if all you have is a harsh word and a gunshot, that's a very narrow problem-solving bandwidth. You need something in between.
Last minute.
Yeah.
Worst case.
Yep. So you need a few solutions along the way before we get to the trigger pull.
And we're putting one together too, a self-defense class with the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk more about that off air, but that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have that potentially hosting that at our home, and then maybe a little barbecue afterwards. So that'll be cool. We'll have some fun. Final thoughts. Back to you, Brian.
If I could get more people in to train, whether they train with me or without me, even if they're not training for self-defense, I think just the country as a whole would be a healthier place. If people were getting on the mat and they were having their face smushed against the mat by someone else at least once or twice a week, I think everyone would be a lot better off. A little bit more chill, a little more resiliency in their walk around. It would make this place a whole lot better, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot more respectful. Would that be cool if there was a way, because it brings me back to, I forgot what country that was, but the guy got caught stealing whatever he did, and they just caned him in public. Remember that was on the news? But there needs to be some type of a resurgence of that in America. Yeah. Especially for some of the younger kids. You see these kids robbing, stealing, shooting. Hey, let's bring some of that back, right?
Yeah, we need some public shame.
There you go.
Just a little public shame. That would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Well, now that you have the actual Secret Service, is getting ready to put everybody into brilliant BJJ as well.
Oh man, yeah, that's a big upcoming topic. Kash Patel said, "I want to have UFC fighters train the FBI," and I would say, "Cool, train them to do what?" Because those guys know how to fight MMA. They don't know how to fight with weapons. So there are specific things that you can take from MMA and apply them into a combatives world or a weapons-based environment that are going to serve you real well. If you don't know which ones to take, it doesn't matter how good you are. Also, just because someone's really good at being a user doesn't mean that they're very, very good at articulating that information in a consumable format to someone else. Right. So I think the idea is really cool, and I'm sure it would get a ton of hype. But in all honesty, I see UFC fighters. I see the blurry face guys every weekend, and they look just like everyone else when we put them in a match and there's knives involved, or it's a 2-on-1, and it's the rule set is different. And if you don't have the proper framing and context before you go into that training environment, it's pretty much useless.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. And I know there's a lot of optimism around the federal government right now, and talk about tariffs and all that. But yeah, self-defense, that's something we've always had a segment on this show, and I appreciate you bringing in all those nuggets of advice. And for everybody out there, take it serious. Get your head out of your phone, especially if it's getting towards dark. If it's dark time, the perpetrators are going to be looking for that low-hanging fruit. They're going to be looking for people that aren't paying attention, that maybe have the kids in the car or whatever. They're going to pull those stunts. And Brian, I'm sure you've seen your share over your years with law enforcement. So there's some bad actors out there, but hopefully we can defend ourselves if the time comes.
Yeah, a lot of people with malice intent.
That's right.
That awareness piece, right?
That's right.
How we do it? We gather information, assess the information, and try to anticipate what's going to happen next, so you can influence what actually does happen. That's how it works.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great summary. All right, check him out online, Concept Jui-jitsu. He's got awesome pages out there. ShivWorks, that's SHIV Works on Facebook. Got some really cool videos. Concept Jui-jitsu as well, Instagram.com as well. ShivWorks Official on Facebook. He's got a YouTube channel, ShivWorks as well on YouTube. Thanks for coming in, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, Cory Van Valin in the house, the magician extraordinaire, entertainer, going to be in studio with us here coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. All right, welcome back. We got Cory 2V in the house. Cory Van Valin in the house.
What's up, Brandon Rhymes?
Yes, sir. Good stuff. We're gonna have some entertainment here in just a moment. I want to let you know about one of our hot listings here. Commercial listing at 10129 Little Road in Newport Richey. This one's a great opportunity. This is a commercial building, 2,337 square feet, over an acre of land. You have an office building, commercial property, currently operating as a chiropractor's office. And shout out to Dr. Paul and Vicky. High visibility, Little Road, great opportunity. State Road 52, Highway 19, Suncoast Parkway, close proximity. Great opportunity to purchase real estate. You got 2 full baths, 2 half baths, screened-in porch, paved rear patio, new roof in 2020. Great opportunity, ADA compliant as well, so all of that's taken care of for you. You can see all of our listings. Check out 10129 Little Road, and you can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. All right, only in America. Cory Van Valin in the house, and American success story right here.
Having a lot of fun with it, Brandon.
I love it, man. I've known you for over a decade now, and you've been just progressing and successful, doing your thing, man. I love it.
Yeah, I know. My first show on the radio was right before my first stage show, where I was able to turn one of our podcasts or one of the radio sessions into an awesome commercial.
Love it.
So,
love it.
I think it'd be an awesome opportunity to talk about my next stage show coming up May 9th.
May 9th.
Yep. So it's an 18 and up adult rated comedy magic show, not good for kids.
Okay.
So the things you could expect is there's a lot of tricks that seem like a trick that turn out to be a joke, or things that seem like a joke that turn out to be a trick. And, it's great for date night out, ladies night out with the friends. I think my last stage show, I had 5 successful people, and they do this thing where they alternate who chooses what to do that weekend.
Okay.
And one guy got a lot of kudo points for coming up to my show, bringing his friends with it.
Nice. There you go. So he was the one that said, hey, we're going to Cory's show.
Yep.
Cory2V.com. So it's on May 9th .com. So you got May 9th. It's 9 o'clock over at the Richie Suncoast Theater. Pretty cool venue too, right?
Beautiful historic theater. It's about 400 seats, and there's parking everywhere. And then right outside the theater, there's all these beautiful restaurants and bars, venues.
Yeah,
so that's one thing I always look for in a theater is the surrounding area also fun? Is it easy to park and make it a stress-free experience getting to the show?
I love it. Yeah, they can get tickets on Eventbrite, and it's also Cory2V.com. Cory2V.com without an E in there.
Without an E, yep.
So, give us a little teaser what you do up there.
This actually just came in the mail yesterday. Brandon, I have here an envelope of mystery. Can I get a ooh-ah?
Ooh, wow.
Very good class. Now, Brandon, I'm going to have you name any number 1 through 10. What do you got?
Okay. In my head or
out loud?
7.
7. So if you notice, I have here a list of celebrity names. We got Taylor Swift. We got Johnny Depp. We got Will Smith. What does 7 say?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Now, inside the envelope of mystery, if there was a picture of Tom Cruise, would you be amazed?
Sure.
Inside is a picture of Tom Cruise at 3 months old. Now, the thing is, there is a little fast forward button here. If you could just press that button.
Okay. There we go.
And it could fast forward to Tom Cruise.
There you
in
go.
today's age. Hey-o!
I like it. That's cool, man.
Kind of gives you an example of something starting off as a joke that turns out to be a real trick.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a lot of fun. You'll leave the theater with smiles, laughter, and a great memory to share with your friends and family.
Yeah, and business owners out there, attention business owners, for example, on Thursday, March 20th, we have our next gratitude party. Every month we host a gratitude party, a business mixer, and kind of a open, not open bar, happy hour bar there, but it's going to be at Lake Tarpon Springs. And Cory, I love when Cory comes and when he can make it to our events because it just adds this extra element, this whole new dimension to some of your parties.
Yeah, it's a lot of the close-up magic involves a lot of personality, the good approach, but it's also just having fun with people. It's not about me trying to fool you. It's about me having a good time with you.
Yeah.
And something that's memorable, something that you could take home with you.
Yeah, elevating the total experience for everybody there. You get people involved. Because sometimes you see, here's what happens. You got friends that see each other, and they'll start talking. They hadn't seen each other in a couple months or whatever. And then you have 2 or 3 people over here kind of maybe a little introverted, but they're sitting on the side. And, that's perfect where you come in. You can bring everybody together, and everybody's having fun.
It breaks the ice. It gets people in a good state. And I've always had this feeling that smiles don't result from good things as much as they result in good things.
Oh,
so
good.
You get someone smiling, it's a gift that keeps on giving.
That really is, and I'd love to get more, be able to inject comedy into my real estate business more often. And I teach classes, and I tell, some of the open house agents, I was like, look, when people walk in that front door, if you're hosting an open house, if you can say something funny and something intelligent within the first 3 to 5 minutes, you're going to win that client. Mm-hmm. Right? We love to laugh.
One of my theories for my stage show, it's almost like surfing. When you're surfing, you got to catch that wave right in the beginning. So for me, within 10 seconds, I got to say something witty, something funny that gets everyone laughing. And then from there, it's just riding the wave out and having a good time with it.
Yeah, that's a good metaphor there. It's just, because when you create that momentum, then it's easier to carry that momentum.
Yeah. One of my favorite lines when I approach people, I love saying, I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but they paid me to interrupt you guys.
There you go.
And I'll go up to someone, hey, what's your name? They're like, Kevin. I'm like, that is correct.
Yes.
And that's my time.
Yeah.
But it starts off strong and,
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've done some pretty big shows over the years. You've done some Vegas stuff too.
Yeah, I've got to travel around the country. And what's cool is the more I travel, the more I love where we're from out in Tampa, St. Pete.
Right.
We've got all types of venues, all types of people, so many options of things to do. And the more I travel, the more I'm looking for the St. Pete out of state. In
sure.
a sense, so.
Yeah. So in other words, a lot of times people the grass is greener. In other words, right? And but the water bill also gets a little bit heavier.
Yeah. One element I was actually just talking with Brian with was if I was to go to like Orlando and make some really good impressions, well, those people are probably from out of state going back to their home state that they can't really do much with me.
Right.
Whereas if I meet someone in Tampa, they live 30 minutes that way or 20 miles that way. They've got their own network, their own circles. So when I leave good impressions on them, they bring me to their friends, and it just keeps on continuing.
Right. Yeah. So, all different types of parties, events. You got your private events as well. So you can book him online, Cory2V.com. He's also got a really fire Instagram.com, Cory Van Valin on Instagram as well.
And there's also, it's under at Chris Angel Sucks.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding either.
Okay, all right, there you go. All right, well, there you go. Cory, good stuff, man. Thanks for coming in. Again, it's May 9th. You got May 9th is the next availability for the show. Ritchie Suncoast Theater there up in Newport Ritchie, Pasco County. All right, good stuff, man. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, another great show. We had Michael Johnson. He's our luxury yacht advisor. We had Brian Frias as well, talking about self-defense and a lot of cool stuff there. We're going to be putting on an event with him coming up as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, Cory2V in the house, Cory2V.com. Get those tickets. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894.